Well, good afternoon. I appreciate y'all coming out. I really wanted to address this case in its sensitivity, but I want to start off by saying this is by far one of the saddest cases that I've witnessed and been a part of ever since I became a police officer. But I want to also start off by saluting all those officers who did a great job documenting this case, especially the investigators who definitely approached this with sensitive gloves on, but yet and still they had to do some gut-wrenching work. These investigators thoroughly investigated this case. Specifically, when I think of the investigators, I think about the lead investigator who worked this case, and one of the things that he mentioned to me, he mentioned two powerful things I thought were, that I never heard anybody mention. And he looked at me and he said, "Lieutenant, this is by far one of the cases that I dreaded of working." He said that as he was trying to get details from his witness, it was very difficult for him to document actually the details of the incident that took place. And so it was very disturbing. He pushed back from behind his desk and just really looked into the sky, just was really saying that, hey, this was the case I never really wanted to work. And so the effects that this case has had on a lot of us here at this department has been very touching. And so, but with that being said, I really want to salute those investigators for doing an amazing job. One of the comments that were made by our chief, he said in the last 30 years in his law enforcement career, he never seen a case as well as so heartbreaking as this particular case. This is a definitely sad case. It really is. And so it has impacted everybody that's here. But with that being said, as a police department, and there was absolutely nothing we could have done to prevent this. But the other part of that is, it's going to take the community to do a better job to try to protect the lives of the children. This is, how do you get inside of people's home? The sad part is you had an adult mother here who had the audacity to leave her 1-year-old in the custody of several other children at the house, and none of those kids were over the age of 8. They ranged from the age of 2 to 8 years old, and so decided to go out to the club for that night, leave those kids there alone, and unfortunately, an 8-year-old was extremely agitated, it appeared, and really attacked the child. One of the things that we're trying to process here for an 8-year-old, an 8-year-old really being able to process or even have that much maybe evil in his heart to kind of do something like that. It's kind of, we're still trying to process it as it relates to the suspect. We think of an 8-year-old being the suspect. We've never had a case like that within our history. I know since I've been here, at least I've talked to some other people, been here 30 years, we've never really charged an 8-year-old. So it's one of those cases where it leaves everybody a little puzzled. But we're confident enough to know that the DA decided, listen, based off the reckless actions of this mother, she was charged with manslaughter, and I think it was the right decision. I think it's a message to send out to every mother, and most mothers that I know would have never done something like this. But it definitely sends the message that this type of behavior, this type of irresponsibility on behalf of a parent is totally unacceptable, And so we wanted to bring this information out. It took a few weeks because we were really trying to dot every I and cross every T. The investigators, the district attorney's office was challenged, was puzzled with this particular case, and because you have an 8-year-old involved. I don't think no education, no school, and no degree, no training can really prepare you for an 8-year-old committing a crime, this heinous crime like this. But our officers did an outstanding job, and so now it's up to the young 8-year-old is now in the custody of the Department of Human Resources. It's up to the family court to do their part. We believe we've done a thorough investigation here, and so now it's up to them to determine what's going to take place in the end for this 8-year-old. I can tell you this. I believe this 8-year-old is probably going to require some intensive counseling for the next several years because it's just still unimaginable to think of an 8-year-old doing something as serious as this. And so that's why we just now brought it out today. The mother turned herself in on Monday evening and made bond, and so this is where we are now with this case.